back to another Random Thought Thursday. So today I just wanted to show some random thoughts that I had on grace, and particularly talking about having grace for yourself. Um, Having grace with yourself is something that I've been hearing about for a long time, and people haven't always talking about, being gentle with yourself and having grace for yourself. And it's something that I knew intellectually, but I didn't really get until this past year. So as some of you may know, I'm an independent consultant with Arbonne. And I also started that towards the end of 2019, but really I'll say 2020 is when I really jumped into it. And I also started this platform, this business, Live Out Loud, as well. And starting two businesses in a year of pandemia was a lot. But at the beginning of the year, I thought, or especially when the lockdowns happened with the pandemic, I thought, well, you know what? I have a lot of extra time, that a lot of the appointments that I had and meetings that I had um, to be in person were canceled, and especially at the beginning when they were just canceling everything left, right, and center. So I thought, you know what, this is a great time to actually use towards building up my business. And I had at least 50 things that 50 goals that I wanted to achieve by June. And I realized by May that I maybe completed two of them, and I was brutal on myself. I was really difficult. And I knew cognitively that a lot was going on around me. There's a lot of like fear and anxiety going on around me. But I didn't really give my own self the space and the time to process what I was seeing. I just had a kind word for those who are around me, and I expected me to just push through it and get done, because you have a lot of stuff. This is an opportunity that doesn't come around a lot in terms of time that was given to me. Like, a lot of terrible things happened last year, and I don't want to gloss over that. But in terms of time and the quietness in the community, like there was just a lot less competition for your attention that was going on. And so I felt like this would be a good time for me to just pour in my extra time into my business. But what I wasn't aware of, or I didn't even give myself the time to realize, is that things can be going on around you and you might decide not to pay attention to them, but the mind doesn't really do that. You can trick and fool yourself into like thinking that something's not affecting you, when really it is really affecting you. You're just not giving yourself the time and awareness to do it. And so I realized by June, July, when I wanted to say at least June, July, August was really unproductive for me. And I was really difficult on myself. Really had a lot of negative things to say about how I'm squandering time and opportunities. And but then when other people came to me with similar concerns, saying, this is a time when I could have been doing stuff. I could have been doing A, B, C, and D. And I just found that I couldn't do anything because every day brought news of a different tragedy. And I had so much grace for them, sincerely, so much grace and gentleness, and being like, you know what, 2020 is an unprecedented year. We've not had a year like this where just every day brought news of something different. We don't really have a framework for how to deal with stuff. We can go back to early 1900s when they had the flu, the pandemic then, the Spanish flu, I think it was. But like in terms of how it impacts us now and today, we don't really have a framework for it. A lot of us weren't born in the early 1900s. And so we don't really have a framework, and we're really just trying to determine how to do life and how to process this as it happens. But when I came to me, I didn't have those words for myself. What I had for myself is, so it's Tuesday. You have Monday through June to get done all that stuff. Plus you have the stuff that you needed to do today. Plus I need you to prepare for August through December of this year, and then we're going to start planning for 2021. It is now 5 o'clock and you've done nothing. What is this the life you want? And basically that's how I dealt with myself, um, day in, day out. Is we have all the stuff you should have done, the stuff you're supposed to do today, prepare for the stuff that you need to do tomorrow, and also beyond that as well. And then make sure you go to bed on time. Make sure you also, did you eat any fruits or vegetables today? Or did you just have Tim Hortons hot chocolate? And did you go for a walk today? Or did you just watch 5 series on Netflix today? You see all the time you're watching on Netflix, blah, 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 blah. And it went like that. And honestly, it wasn't until, with the help of my therapist, really, um, and some really great people around me, that I realized that I have scads and scads and scads of grace for other people, but I don't have any for myself. And I really had to start asking myself, why was I not worthy of it? Why was grace enough for everybody else, but not for me? And there's a, I decided to take a month and really just remove myself from all of the responsibilities that I could. And it was so refreshing. And there's a couple things that I came out of that month now that really helped me understand why grace is necessary. It's necessary. And even before I get into that, grace is necessary for everyone, and it needs to start with you. And honestly, when we have a deeper understanding of what that means, then it makes us more ready to extend it to others. And it's necessary for your mental health to give yourself the space and time to process what is going on around you is absolutely imperative. And that's what I was not giving myself the time to take in, like be aware of what I was taking in and really process it, and then learn what I want to do with it, when really I was just ignoring it or telling myself it didn't affect me, even though it affected me a lot. And I took a month to give myself that, and it put me on such healthy mind space that I really kind of wish I did at the beginning. I think I would have been able to achieve more, had I taken time for me. And so, before I get into it, I really just want to let everybody know that taking time for yourself is not reserved for those who don't have responsibilities. Everybody has responsibility. Not everybody has your responsibilities. Not everybody has children, animal, elderly parents, 5 jobs, 14 homes to take care of. Not everybody has your particular set of responsibilities, but everybody has something that they're responsible for. And taking time for you is not a luxury, it's a necessity. Taking time to process what's going on inside your mind and your heart is a necessity. And especially when you have other people who are depending on you, i.e., children or your elderly parents, it is even more important for you to take care of yourself. So I just wanted to just leave a couple of things with what this journey on grace, and I'm still on it, understanding like how I extend it to myself and how it affects me and what it really means. But grace, to begin with, is it's mercy. It's not merit. It's not something that we earn. Even the Bible talks about the grace of God is extended to everyone. It's his unmerited favor. And so extending grace for yourself, knowing that it's not something that you did today, or it's not based on your to-do list, why you decide you deserve grace today. You deserve grace before you woke up this morning. So before you had a chance to do anything, actually we didn't deserve it, but it's due unto us anyway. It is mercy, not merit. It is having mercy on yourself. It is recognizing that you are not perfect. And we say that, but I think sometimes we don't really take that in, because we expect perfection from ourselves. We expect perfection from the people around us, but we're not perfect. And that's setting yourself up for to be disappointed. We are not perfect. We will hit the mark some days. Some days we'll almost hit the mark. Sometimes we'll not even be in the general vicinity of where the mark is. Have grace for yourself anyway. You can, there's nothing wrong with being honest about yourself, and maybe even, just taking stock of where you are and the decisions that you made. But it should never be to the point where you just have there's a long monologue of negative talk, and about how you are unworthy, and none of that. We are not going into this year 2021 or beyond with that kind of mindset. It serves no one. It serves no one. So grace is mercy, not merit. And the one main one also is, who are you to withhold grace from yourself? Who are you to give grace to everybody else but you? And I say this because this is something that similar to what I say a lot regarding love, is who am I to withhold love from somebody else? Jesus gives love to everybody. Everybody who existed, exists, and will exist on this earth is covered under the love of Christ. He loves everybody. So if God loves everybody, no exceptions, then who am I to not extend love to somebody else? And maybe even that we can get into in another video, but who am I to determine who's worthy of love and respect when I, in my wretchedness, receive love all the time? So also, who is from myself, but yet I expect me to give grace to other people? Where am I getting my cup filled in grace? Like, how am I able to give what I don't even give myself? That makes no sense. Number 2, or number 3, I guess. Hear me when I say, and I said this already, and I'm going to look into the camera and I'm going to tell you now. You do not have to do all the things, okay? You do not have to do all the things. You don't have to be everything to everybody. You don't have to do all of the stuff that you should have done, plus the stuff that you need to do today, plus all the stuff that needs to be due tomorrow, and you don't need to do it all in the next 5 minutes. That is a recipe for stress and anxiety. Let me tell you, you are human. You are a finite being. We have great capacity, but the capacity is not never ending. We have limits, and knowing when to ask for help, knowing when to say no, knowing when to say yes, but these are my boundaries, is really important. And especially when we say that to ourselves, and we know that ourselves, yes, I can take that on, but Kalenia, you don't have to do A, B, C, and D. You can just do A and B, and let them know A and B is what you can do, and they can find somebody else to do C and D. If they don't have anybody to do C and D, you can say, I can do A and B. C'est ça, right? You don't have to do all the things, and you don't have to do it all right now. Also, another point that a good friend of mine pointed out is that there are seasons for everything. So you might have 50 things to do, but all 50 things don't need to be done today. You can have in this season to do numbers 1 through 10. And then next season, you need to do 11 through 20, and so on and so forth. There's seasons. Knowing when and how to do what you need to get done is really, really key. And number 3 and 4 are together. And you are winning. Winning doesn't have to be huge goals that are worthy or only recognized by many. It doesn't have to be huge. It doesn't have to be great. In mine, it could be very minor, meaning you got up on time today, or you only hit the snooze button once instead of 5 times. It could be I dealt with that person with a soft answer instead of the cuss that is ever waiting on the tongue for that person. It could be I chose carrots over the brownie. It could be minor, It could be, I finally finished that project that I've been working on. I finally finished that book. I finally started the book. I finally made the move. I finally ended the relationship. I finally started the relationship. It could be anything, but you are winning. Winning is not something that will happen in the future, or if one these big few things will happen, but you are winning every day. And it is important that you look out for them and you give yourself the praise for the small wins and the grace for that as well. And then the final thing is, it's only too late when you're dead. It's never too late to start something, to end something. It's never too late. Only what death is final. So you could leave a job, you could go right back if they'll have you. Even if they don't, it's okay. It's never too late to start, to finish, to continue. It's never too late. So those are my thoughts on grace. If you have anything to say on it, I really would love to hear. Put your comments below. What does grace mean to you? Have I said anything that stood out to you? Please let me know below. I love to hear back from you guys. Thank you so much for this week on Random Thought Thursday. This is Kalenia.